Hello and welcome to the Football Parliament podcast, your one stop destination for all your football debates, discussions, and opinions. Now, if you see the league tables of La Liga and the Premier League, which arguably are the two best leagues in the world, one thing that you might notice is that the top two teams of both the leagues belong to the same city, which happen to be Manchester in the Premier League and Madrid in La Liga. Thus, for the purpose of today's video, we decided to spice things up and make a combined 11 of Real and Atletico from Madrid and City and United from Manchester. After making these combined 11s, we will then compare these 11s and come to a conclusion as to which is the best footballing city in the world. Now, today I'm joined by Varun and Chirag and Vedant as usual. Thank you guys for coming. How are you all doing?
Thank you, Balash.
All good, bro.
Thank you. All good.
So, Varun, could you describe the formation that we've chosen for both the teams and the reason for the same?
Yeah. For the Manchester derby, we have decided to go for a good old 4-1-2-1. Even though this might be a quite unconventional formation, we believe that this would justify all of the midfield depth that both the Manchester teams have, and also display the strong defense that both these teams have. Considering that Premier League is more of a defensive league, it's more physical, which is why we have gone for a 4-1-2-1.
And now, could you show the formation that we're going to be using for the La Liga 11?
Yes. For the La Liga 11, we'll be going for the 3-4-1-2. This season, particularly, we've noticed that there's been a great inflow of goals that has been coming in from the top five teams in La Liga. It has been more of an attacking season, which is why we've chosen to go with only three defenders. And we have justified the midfield depth of the Spanish top division, right? And we believe that this formation justifies Spanish football because of the fact that there's a lot of wing play that goes on, and also there's a lot of power hitting, which is why we need two strikers over here.
Right. I think that's an amazing choice of formations for either teams.
Also to mention
Before we start,
that Spain's top three clubs, which are Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Atletico Madrid, use this formation a lot in the league.
that's true. Now, before we start making this 11, we would like you guys to comment right now which, according to you, is the better 11. Comment either Manchester 11 or Madrid 11, and then keep watching the video to know our pick. And also make sure to subscribe to our channel because this is probably our fifth video and a lot of support we've been getting, but we do aim to keep growing like this and keep listening to the Football Parliament podcast. Chirag, could you get started with the Manchester 11 with the goalkeeper?
Yes. So there is no doubt starting with the goalkeeper. It is a choice between Henderson or Ederson, and definitely the Brazilian will make the cut. I don't think anyone will have any arguments against Ederson. The best keeper, maybe after Oblak, but yeah, definitely the best keeper in the Premier League. He has since his arrival at Manchester, the club has been under great defensive depth, and any shot past him is a rarity right now. So definitely Ederson makes the list. Next,
Yeah.
moving to the centre back partnership, one guy we all can agree is, according to me, Ruben Diaz. Maybe the signing of the season in the Premier League. That guy is under 23 and is performing so well. He was bought at a very high price, but definitely he is value for money. Ruben Diaz he would even be considered as one of the best players in the whole Premier League by many this season. Alongside him, that this will be a difficult choice
Varun,
to either.
let me just cut you off. Sorry for that. For the next centre back, we've got either of the English centre backs, which is John Stones and Harry Maguire, or the Swedish centre back, Victor Lindelof. So, who do you think should be deserving to make part in this 11?
For the centre back position, in my opinion, it should be Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire.
The reason I believe Harry Maguire should be the left centre back for this formation is because of the fact that he's been, I won't say phenomenal, but he has been quite exceptional for this Premier League season because of the fact that he has provided a lot of defensive depth, which is why his constant fallbacks and even sometimes his ability to head the ball is an important asset to Manchester United as well. So I believe the centre back
Harry
spot.
Maguire, do you agree with that selection, Chirag and Vedant? Chirag first.
I
Yes,
would debate for
just
John Stones, but Harry Maguire truly deserves the spot considering what happened with him before the season and the criticism by the other clubs' fans, especially from Liverpool supporters, that Harry Maguire is such a joke, and they even compared him to Virgil van Dijk. So I think he deserves the spot. He's silenced the critics now.
and definitely adding to a point, in any team when we build, we need a leader from the back, and if we do not have some leader from Man City like Fernandinho or any veteran, so Harry Maguire deserves the spot. He has been leading the English side as well from the defensive point of view, and if we are going for any English centre back, we must consider who plays for the English national team, and it is definitely Harry Maguire.
So Warren,
a
could you
lot of
add
people
Harry
who
Maguire
a lot of people
second
who
centre
would be
back?
watching this right now, our video right now, they would be thinking, how can Harry Maguire make it in front of John Stones? But the thing is that the reels and the memes, they're all just a part for hating him. I don't think he deserves that much hate for his defensive work. I've seen one reel where he was clearing the ball and they've made a fun out of that. I don't think he deserves that. I think he's done good this season.
Yeah, I think he's one of the players that these meme pages and the troll pages on Instagram, football, Twitter target a lot, gets a lot of unnecessary hate, gets a lot
Yeah.
of troll for the slightest of mistakes, but not enough appreciation for a string of good performances that he has delivered throughout this season.
Mm,
Moving on,
like
let's go on to the right back position. Warren, who do you think should be the right back for this 11?
my opinion, it should be Joao Cancelo
Joao
or
Cancelo. Do you agree with that, Chirag?
Definitely, John Cancelo has been one of the best players for City this season. First of all, his versatility on playing on both the sides, right back and the left back, he definitely deserves the spot. I would credit a lot to him for Chelsea, for City's defensive attributes as well as the offensive attributes. I think whenever he moves up the pitch, he has a great crossing ability, and this season he has even passed Trent Alexander-Arnold, according to me, as the best right back in the Premier League.
Trent is
In the world, do
overrated.
you think he's the best right back in the world?
The current form, we can say that he is the best. Yes, in the current
I
form,
think
he
yeah.
deserves
I
to
think
be the
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's the best right back in the world. That's what I feel too.
with current form,
best.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
playing for Portugal as well.
how about the left back? Vedant, who do you think should be the left back?
I think Luke Shaw truly deserves that spade because deserves that. Uh, so how do I say this? He deserves that position
Spot.
because Manchester City don't have a great left back. They've got Alexander
Actually, true. Yeah.
Zinchenko and Benjamin Mendy, but Luke Shaw has been phenomenal this season. He even scored a goal against Man City, and I think he also got a lot of criticism before this season, considering a bit of his poor form. And United bought an additional left back, the name of Alex Telles, which I guess gave him competition to have such a good run. And yeah, I think Luke Shaw deserves that spot.
Kindly
Definitely.
add Luke Shaw. And one thing I noticed about this back four is that Luke Shaw can actually play as the left centre back in a back three. And Maguire and Diaz obviously can play as a centre backs. And Joao Cancelo can actually push up. So although it might look as a back four right now, if this team won't come into function, but obviously if this team actually would think of him as a simulation, Joao Cancelo can actually push forward to become more of a midfield, or you can say four with four at the back. So it's quite a versatile 11, I think, versatile back four, I think.
Luke Shaw provides you a lot of defensive solidarity, which other fullbacks in the world really don't provide, to be honest. The likes of Trent Alexander Arnold, to name a few.
Right.
And
So
since the
Shaw,
arrival
Maguire,
of
Diaz, and Cancelo are the back four of this team. Now we move on to the defensive mid position. Chirag, who do you think should be the defensive mid? Could you list down the options as well for the position?
the options here, according to me, definitely are just Rodri and McTominay, or either Fred if someone would counter that. But according to me, Rodri deserves the spot over both of them. He has the experience, he has the physicality to deal what Premier League requires, and definitely he is the commanding one between the midfield line. And as you said that this team could be very attacking and could go for three centre backs. If they want extra defensive solidarity, Rodri definitely can be the option if he sits back along the defensive line and let both the fullbacks attack as well.
Do you think Fernandinho could be picked over Rodri?
Based on this season, Fernandinho is not the better option, I guess, because Fernandinho himself was not being played in this position. He was either deployed as the centre back when City was lacking the depth at that position, and rather Rodri is the preferred choice by Pep as well. So I think we should go for Rodri over anyone.
Rodri also averages a rating of 7.47 this season, and his main strength, which a central defensive midfielder requires, is ball concentration and tackling.
You not bring the ratings into it. They are quite obviously very
Controversial.
poor
Yeah.
judge players. Do you honestly think that ratings are a good way to judge players?
For defense and midfield, I think yes, but for forwards, no. Because see, I'm a Madrid fan, so I obviously love Cristiano Ronaldo. But that day, I saw a game of his against Lithuania. He practically did nothing. He just scored 3 goals, one of them being a sitter, and he earned a rating of 9. I
He
just
did
don't
nothing and scored 3 goals.
like just scored those goals. Apart from that, he had no influence in the game. Like he was just there to cut in and score. He didn't create much, or he was losing the ball way too often. So I and he deserved yeah, and he got a rating of 9. So I don't understand this for the basis of. I think it's not fair for forwards to rate them
I don't
like
want to
that.
spend a lot of
For
time for
midfielders
this.
and defense, I think it makes sense a bit.
Yeah, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this rating part, but Varun, I want to know your opinion. Do you think ratings are a good way to judge players?
See, at the end of the day, ratings are just another stat to portray a player. So, like for example, there's let's just take Lionel Messi for example. The playmaking that he provides, or even if he doesn't get an assist or a goal, he might end up with a 10 rating, as we have seen in the past, and as we have seen this season as well. It's because of his influence on the game, and like Vedant mentioned, influence plays a significant role. So goals are not the only way, and that's why players like Ramos or Ruben Diaz can have a significant impact on the game, and that is because of their influence. So in the end, rating is just another stat.
Actually, well said. Now, let's move on to the two number eights or the two midfielders on either side of Rodri. So, Chirag, who do you think we should pick as? Give one midfielder first.
One midfielder that definitely deserves the spot is De Bruyne. Like obviously the best, not if not the best, among the best top three midfielders in the whole world. His passing has been the best. I don't know for how long. He is in this season as well. He has been injured for a long time. Still, the impact and the influence. So De Bruyne definitely deserves a spot over anyone. Even in the world's best 11, will have De Bruyne holding this position for me.
So, you think De Bruyne deserves a spot as one of the number eights? Varun, do you agree with that?
Um, I can, I would, I would kind of comply with what Chirag said, but I would not give him a sure shot position in the top 11 of the entire world. Because the thing is that there are players who have had an impact on the game for at least 10 to 12 years. And De Bruyne, he has started influencing the game for the past 3 to 4 years. I know I'm offending a lot of Manchester City fans out there, but the thing is that he is currently in the world, he is one of the best right now. I'm not denying that. But the thing is that he needs to have a long term influence on the game in order to be
He's in the best
considered
11 right now. Yeah, correct best
best
11.
level. Yeah.
He Let's look at his longevity. I think when he retires.
But I think for the purpose of this 11, we're just taking the two Manchester clubs. I think that De Bruyne can be played. So, Varun, could you add De Bruyne as one of the number eights?
De Bruyne got an injury against Chelsea, right?
Yes, exactly. In
Yeah,
the
I
FA
think
Cup.
so.
Yeah.
Now, the other number eight, who do you think? Vedant.
Ilkay Gundogan truly deserves that spot. I don't think Manchester United have any number eights to spare at the moment. So I think Ilkay Gundogan deserves that spot, especially his run in 2021, where City didn't have any striker and he was the one who was providing goals in big games. So yeah, I think Gundogan
But
deserves that
I
spot.
would like to counter Vedant here. We could even have Foden. Like that guy has an impact that no one can. At this young age, definitely Foden deserves a spot. Maybe
But
not a Manchester
Chirag,
United
See,
the
player.
question, I would
recently
like to
Pep
answer
has been
that,
playing him
Vedant.
more at the wing.
Chirag, the question that I have is that
Pep has
we are
been
playing
playing
at.
him more recently in the
Alright, go
wing.
ahead.
So I don't know.
Yeah, that was exactly my point. That
Pep has,
uh,
yeah.
But
Foden
I
has
would
been
just
playing on
just
the wings,
advise.
and centre mid is a
I,
quite different position.
but I would just advise a thing. We could either do a thing. We can have De Bruyne as the false nine in this squad, and maybe add both Gundogan and Foden because both of them deserve the spot, according to me. Foden is not getting the likely position in this midfield, but that guy has the potential to play anywhere. And we can all agree Man City is in the UCL semi-final because of Foden. If we are making a Manchester 11, the team who is playing the semi-final of UCL, and because of that player, he deserves the spot. According to me, Foden deserves the spot.
See, I'll agree with you on this, but if you look in the near future, like for example, 5 years from now, in 2026, I think Foden will be appreciated as a winger more, maybe because he can cut in and just score out of nowhere.
But
Yeah,
he does
that's
not
true.
have
And
the
actually,
physicality as
that
a
was
winger.
my point that this season we're picking a midfield trial. So probably you should look at which player suits that position the best. Because Foden obviously is just 20 years of age. And do you think he would be the best option at centre midfield and not somewhere like further forward, probably as a striker or.
Maybe this season we can have that because the defensive line we have, we do not need a central midfielder who can like sit back alongside the defensive line. So having someone like Gundogan also, like according with him, Gundogan, I think Foden would fit, and De Bruyne has played the number 9 position, the false 9 rather, according to the Pep. So I would push up De Bruyne and let Foden sit back.
What do you think of the idea, Warren? Could we push Kevin De Bruyne as one of the strikers, as he has played for Manchester City in the absence of a proper number 9, and put Phil Foden and Ilkay Gundogan as the two centre mids?
That's
Actually,
actually
that.
true, but if you notice, we also have Paul Pogba here, who's been really good this year in 2021, not the season as a whole. But we could also have Paul Pogba in this conversation, but we aren't having him, right? Because Ilkay Gundogan has been phenomenal.
I
Yeah,
would
I don't
just say
think Paul Pogba comes anywhere near because Gundogan is one of the front runners for the PFA Player of the Season, Foden for the Young Player of the Season, and De Bruyne, we know how good he actually is. So I don't think Pogba is a part of this conversation, but I do think that De Bruyne should be played further forward as one of the two strikers.
Um, I mean, all I can say is that false nine players are usually the ones who are very active because they have a larger role to play in the entire game. And De Bruyne is the kind of person who has a great physicality. He has some really great stats through which he can play as an efficient false nine. So I believe that we should have De Bruyne on the striker position to play as a constant false nine.
Right.
maybe
So
because of my striker option that I would be putting up later, I think De Bruyne is a better option up front rather than in the midfield.
we will get to that part. For now, in the midfield, you could put Ilkay Gundogan and
Guys, comment
Phil
below if
Foden.
you think Kevin De Bruyne deserves to be a false nine or a striker or a midfielder. Let us know.
Now we move to the center attacking mid. Is it really a debate over here?
I think we all know.
Bruno Fernandes.
With
I think the discussion we had for the last 2 or 3 minutes regarding the center midfield position, none of us was even trying to put any of the three into the cam position because we all know one guy deserves that spot. Definitely,
Yeah,
Bruno.
we
that
all
guy.
know that we need someone to take the penalties for this team.
yeah,
Yeah,
but other than
because City don't have any penalty takers right now. Yeah.
but the thing
No,
with
we have
Fernandes,
Edison in the line, right? He is the best
Yeah,
penalty taker.
He's a goalkeeper.
actually a good
Yeah.
point. If we didn't have Fernandez over here, we would not actually have a penalty taker.
Vedant, what I
the
feel is
thing with
whatever 11 or whatever discussion we have, uh, Palash's agenda against Bruno would never end.
yeah,
His
Yeah.
penalty agenda.
yeah, that's there. But I mean, the thing is that Fernandes has carried Manchester United's midfield, and to be honest, without Fernandes, United might not have even qualified for the Champions League last season, or would not have even been in the top three. Right?
There was a tweet by CP Sporting CP Portugal stating that please take care of our boy at the rate Bruno Fernandes, and he's the one who's been taking care of Manchester United this season and last season.
Yeah.
Right.
Ole
So
is
Bruno
getting
Fernandez
played
as
because of
the
Bruno.
attacking mid. Who do you all think should be the last position, which is the second striker? Chirag, could you say?
See, both the clubs are not having a certified number 9 this season who can carry the team. Definitely, Aguero has that capability to lead the line or Cavani, but both of them have passed their prime and have not been that efficient. But they used to be in their primes. So, out of the choice, box choice, I would go for Marcus Rashford. That guy has more than 30 goal contributions this season, and definitely he deserves a spot over anyone.
Yeah,
I
plus
think
the thing
Rashford
is
deserves a
that
spot.
Cavani or Aguero don't start every game. These guys do.
Definitely, and
Going back to one
Rashford
of
has that
Chirag's points,
capability.
actually, Chirag just said that Aguero is past his prime and he's been linked to Varane, your club, Barcelona. Do you think
Barcelona.
Aguero is past his prime?
Um,
I think Laporta is just
uh,
doing it to satisfy Messi or just keep him.
I
And
would kind of agree to that. However, I do feel that Barca is lacking the number nine that we crave for, or
What about Erling
uh,
Haaland? He literally was at your training ground,
knowing both of
checking it
our club's
out.
financial situations, Vedant, I don't think any of us can afford Haaland or Mbappe right now.
Right.
See, but the thing is
I
that
think we
we
just
are a member-owned club, right? Real Madrid and Barca are a member-owned club, so I think debt is something we can afford.
Vedant,
but
I would like to interrupt you. I would say that I think for the limit of this video, we've just got about 10 minutes left. So I think we should move to the Madrid 11.
Yeah.
So for the Madrid 11, we have gone for, as we said, three at the back formation. In the goal, I don't think it's much of a debate, and we shouldn't waste time over here.
See,
Jano
there is a
Black does
debate there.
everyone.
You're just hating him just because he's a snake apparently to your club, but Jano Black deserves this spot.
Vedant, are you really trying to say that
I said
Thibaut
Jano Black
Courtois
deserves this
is fit?
spot. I said Jano
Why
Black
is it?
deserves this
Why
spot.
is there a debate over here? Why is there a debate over
There
here?
is a debate here because you haven't seen his games. You just
Guys,
you
guys,
just
guys, guys, एक second. Recording नहीं हो रहा है. It's not recording.
So end of debate. We are having Jano Black as the goalkeeper. Not even a question. Not even a debate.
just because of your
Definitely one of the
Chelsea
best.
bias. Obviously, Oblak deserves the spot, truly, but the way you're hating it on Courtois, that's not justified, Palash.
Does anyone over here think that Courtois comes closer to Black Chirag or Vedant?
I didn't
Yes
say
or no?
that. I didn't say that. I'm just specifying your hate on Courtois just because he's a snake for your club.
I was just appreciating Oblak, but I think if you want to see it that
Um,
way, then fine.
if we're talking about snakes, let's not get to Luis Figo. So
Oh.
don't talk about it.
Okay, the back three. Vedant, could you recommend one centre back for the back three?
I think Rafael Varane truly deserves the spot. Judging his career based on a single game is really very dumb. He's been phenomenal this
That's true.
season. And
And
if you see his
Chirag,
games, you'll
another
truly
centre back.
agree.
the other centre back has to be Jimenez. That guy has been phenomenal. He deserves a spot over anyone. Just
Josimaya
he has
Jimenez
to be there.
certainly does deserve a spot. And Varane, who do you think should be the third centre back?
Just give me a minute.
Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
Centre back 86.
Should be
Yeah.
Nacho. And even though he hasn't gotten a lot of games for Real Madrid this season, I feel that he has been
Nacho
quite
has
good.
got a lot of games for for Real Madrid this season. He's got like 2,800 minutes this season because Ramos
So
has been
2000
absent
are you
all
all
like
season
suggesting
long.
that we should put Nacho over here as the left centre back?
Yes.
I have not
And
seen
Vedant,
him.
could you tell our viewers the reason for the exclusion of Sergio Ramos?
See, Sergio Ramos has only been absent because of injuries or COVID-19. He's got COVID twice and injuries constantly, a thigh injury. That's what is stopping him from being on the pitch. Otherwise, it's pretty much obvious that Sergio Ramos would start in this lineup.
Right. And what do you think about the midfield? Who should be the two centre midfielders?
Cruz and Modric. There's literally no debate here.
Tony
Vedant,
Kroos and Luka
rather,
Modric.
I will have a debate over this. Not about any Atletico player, but definitely a Real player again. Casemiro. That
Casemiro.
guy has been definitely like phenomenal.
Yeah, but we're talking about central midfielders here, and he's a CDM. I think
But
yeah,
with the
Casemiro deserves a
three back,
spot, but then you can't miss out Cruz and
yeah,
Modric, who are one of the best midfielders ever. Both of
So,
them.
over
Varun,
Modric, I can give.
let's leave the decision on you. Who do you
Yeah.
think should be the two midfielders out of the
Should
three?
be Kroos and Modric, because the thing is that Kroos and Modric, they provide the midfield depth that is required, and they're also not very careless players. At times, Casemiro does become a very careless player,
Yeah,
which is
and
why he can.
recently he's been
That's a good
fouling
point.
really very carelessly. He's been fouling really very carelessly. Even in the Liverpool game, not the second one on Milner, the first leg, he was fouling, and even against Barcelona. So I think Casemiro should be left out here.
And just
And Chirag, who do
adding
you
more
think should be
discussions.
the right wing back or the right midfielder rather?
Right side, maybe Lorente can go for. We can go for him because I cannot see a better player at Real this year. So I would go for
Yeah,
Lorente.
right mid has to be Lorente.
Yeah, not
Right, it
because
should be
Real is not
Lawrence.
He's
having
a
a
La
player. Maybe
Fabrica product, by the way. Real Madrid's academy.
Okay.
certainly.
I won't remember asking, but fine. Okay. Who should be the left mid?
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yannick Carrasco. He's been really
Yannick
good.
Carrasco. Do you agree with
Atletico.
that? Well,
Yeah,
Sorry.
definitely.
Yeah.
Carrasco deserves a spot because of the great
Atletico
run
bought him
Atletico is
back
having this season.
because they were lacking depth last season, and they trusted this man with that because they didn't have anyone specific at left wing back or left mid, and this guy can really play there. And recently, in the absence of Luis Suarez, he's the one who's scoring goals, even though being a wide midfielder.
true. Now for the attacking mid position. How do you all think we should manage the front three? We've obviously gone for two strikers for a reason. We are aware of two strikers who can probably not fit as well on the wings, which is Luis Suarez and Karim Benzema. So do you all think that we should go for Suarez and Benzema as a strike partner with a cam?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
rather than a Cam, I would see a false nine, not just a false nine, but a more attacking player, according to me. Someone who would not fit in the midfield, but more in the attacking front. And
See,
for me, I
Chirag,
would go for
if you want to fit in Casemiro also in this lineup, you can rather put Modric at cam and put Casemiro at CM and fit him in. But I think
But
Felix is also a candidate. He's
I
been really
feel
yeah, but
feel
more over
Felix does
Casemiro, I
deserve
feel
it.
Felix will deserve a spot over
yeah.
Casemiro.
So
And if
go
we,
for
as we
Joao
mentioned,
Felix. Varun.
yes,
And
Yeah, you were saying
the last
something.
two cycles,
And the two strikers, as we've discussed, are Karim Benzema and Luis Suarez. So could you all show, Varun, could you show our viewers both the teams once?
yes. So over here, this is the La Liga Madrid Derby 11, and this one is the Manchester Derby 11. Comment down below on which Derby team do you think is the best, and that's it.
Like,
Not
share,
much of this
subscribe, guys, and we'll
discussion
see you all
topics.
on Monday.
With that, just one name, according to you,
What?
team is the better one. Just,
Madrid 11, in my opinion.
which team is the better one?
Madrid 11. I'll keep my La Liga bias here,
I
so yeah.
asked Chirag. Chirag, better team. Fast,
yeah,
fast.
if we are talking about bias, it has to be the Premier League 11. Oh, I mean the Manchester 11.
Okay. Varun,
In
unbiased,
my,
which
in
is the
my
better team this season?
if it's unbiased, then I would say both these teams are equally bad because the thing is that both these teams are different complexions. They have different defensive styles, which is why, and they have different
Just one
attacking.
name, just one name. We are running short of time.
Yeah.
I would say the Premier League.
Even I'll go for the
Ouch.
Premier League 11. But what is your favorite 11? Do make sure to comment down below. And for more top quality football content, keep listening to the Football Parliament podcast. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Bias bastards.
Yep.